Tonight I'm playing a gig with this vocalist named Jimmy Z. I just got the tune list like 2 days before the gig and it was like 45 tunes and I only know like 20% of them maybe. According to the piano player, it's very low pressure.
They're so fun because there's like no stress.
Because I always get nervous when it's like 45 tunes, you know? So I'm hoping that I can make my way through it without embarrassing myself too much. Is this the entrance?
I was telling these guys the other day, I was going to have a drummer. His wife had twin girls.
Oh, jeez.
What do you think he named her?
You'll get used to this.
Okay, this is a setup now.
This is setup, yes.
I don't know, what do you mean?
And a 1 and a 2.
Oh, nice. I'll be your Eric DeVade soundboard tonight.
Eric DeVade soundboard.
When I'm playing a gig with a vocalist, there are kind of a few guidelines that I try to follow that will prevent me from getting fired, hopefully. The first thing I'm trying to do is kind of like fill the spaces or complement what the melody is doing without stepping all over it.
I'm a big fan of classic films, and so we have a bunch of songs from some of those movies. Lonely night is frozen, just a passing breeze, filled with memories.
I generally try to avoid playing while the vocalist is singing, although there are some exceptions, like I'll maybe try to harmonize the melody a little bit in some parts if I know it.
I was her only one.
Another rule I try to follow is don't blow behind the first A section. And honestly, a lot of times if it's like an AABA tune, I just won't blow behind either the first A's and maybe the B section also.
The song's from 1923, as are most of these songs. It's called Sometimes I'm Happy.
In G? In G? B flat, okay, cool. So the key is not... Oh wait, yes, it's transposed, holy crap.
Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends on you. I never mind the rain in the sky, as long as I see the sunshine in your eyes. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. That's how I am. What more can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you.
I don't want to detract from what the vocalist is doing. They're kind of setting up the tune and introducing the melody. And I find like if I'm improvising behind the melody for like the whole form, there's almost no build up to my solo. So I generally will lay out for like the first half of the form or 3/4 of the form. This brings me to my next point. I generally will only take one chorus when there's a vocalist singing. I'm pretty much like less is more when it comes to choruses in soloing, regardless of if there's a vocalist or not. But generally it just feels awkward if you take 19 choruses and then the piano player takes 12 and then the bass player takes a bunch, you know? The vocalist is just standing up there. So I kind of like to try to minimize that amount of time.
I'm going to put a couple of instrumentals if you want to play in between. You know, I kind of like is Blue Pasta. Okay, no, we can
Probably figure that one out, I would think.
Is this like a samba? Cool.
When I first started playing,
Yeah.
it was just obsessed.
Yeah, it was played constantly, yeah. But that's what I mean, it's like, the last time I played that tune was freshman year of high school. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's like, because you're never calling that on gigs usually, so.
It's so overcalled that nobody calls it
Exactly,
anymore.
yeah. Also, Also, don't feel bad about laying out if you can't find your space in the melody. It's better to just let the vocalist do their thing than play something that maybe doesn't complement the melody in the way that it should. You want to just think of yourself as a support role for them, and you don't want to do anything that maybe will distract from what they're doing.
To tell you that you're wonderful, to tell you that you're fabulous, to tell you that you're marvelous too, marvelous.
There is kind of one exception to this, and that's like if you're doing a call and response thing with the melody. And usually I won't like start off by doing this on a tune. Usually this will be on the last A section, but it can kind of be fun if the melody is phrased in a way that there's a perfect pocket for a call and response.
Was I gay right till today? Christmas Story.
Oh.
Solos are, this should be
Called the
C.
Hudson song.
Oh, great.
Another
It's
one.
really just like a gibberish song. They don't
that's good
use the
enough.
lyrics. Sitting on the river rock, and the brawl the suet.
So it's D flat blues for solo.
Okay.
And there's a break on these two bars. So we do this pedal.
Okay.
We'll be like, bat it up, break, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, bat up, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, then D flat blues. So we play with that break.
All right.
D flat.
Me play through it? Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to the rehearsal.
Sorry, I'm still trying to decode your like facial expressions. So I'm like,
Hudson Falls, sitting on the river rock, and the brawl.
I don't know if you're saying play now or don't play yet.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
It's a pleasure coming to you this evening. Hopefully we'll be back again sometime.
nice. Well, thanks for coaching us through it, man. It's like we could just look down at you and you'd be like, This was a pretty casual and low pressure gig, and I'm not really playing with vocalists too often in a jazz setting, but I often become frustrated when I'm listening to another horn player that's playing behind a vocalist and they're kind of walking all over them. So I thought it would be good to kind of just document this gig and show you guys what I'm thinking about in this scenario. I had a good time and learned a lot of tunes that I otherwise wouldn't have been exposed to. This was my first gig with both Jimmy and Mark, and only my second with Rick, so I'm always trying to make sure, you know, I make a good first impression. Check out my Patreon if you want to see some behind the scenes from vlogs like these. I'm just trying to document my experience as a working musician in Pittsburgh, so thanks for coming along. Sorry, no good B-roll of me putting my horn in the car.